Hey everybody, happy Thursday and happy start to your June. We've got a lot to talk about out there, including the development now of Tropical Depression 2 in the Gulf of Mexico, and that could likely become Tropical Storm Arlene here. So, starting off the Atlantic hurricane season with a bang today, right on June 1st, the first day. Maybe this is a prelude to what we will see the rest of this season. Maybe not. We will just have to wait and see. But we're definitely going to talk about what will likely soon be Arlene by the time we get into tomorrow. A little bit. Now, the good news is this likely won't really have any more impacts than what we were already expecting, as this kind of just meanders southward and eventually kind of dies out a little bit as it's kind of along this broad kind of axis of low pressure. So, definitely going to talk about that. Also going to talk about maybe a backdoor cold front working its way in through the northeast and mid-Atlantic going into this weekend, which could help to cool things down a little bit as well as bring that humidity down. So, that is also something to look forward to. And then we're going to round up the video here at the end by quickly discussing next week and what I see into the medium and long term. So, with that said, let's go ahead and start analyzing the satellite imagery a little bit. You can notice the sun is beginning to set here on the east coast of the United States, and right here is Tropical Depression 2. You can see it spinning away pretty well here with a big area of convection firing up on the north side of this, and it was able to finally close off enough and have enough of that convection wrapping around it that this is now officially a tropical system and not just a good old-fashioned low pressure. So, outside of kind of the northeast and sections of the Ohio River Valley today, we've had pretty partly cloudy skies, a pretty nice field of cumulus here into sections of the country, but here into the Carolinas, it's been more of a widespread cloud cover kind of day. So, depending on where you're at, different kind of weather today, but overall, mainly nice for most of us outside of the Florida Peninsula, where we're being affected by, this tropical depression too, in more of an indirect way, but nonetheless still being affected by it. So, taking a look at the next 48 hours or so, you'll notice here what will likely soon be Arlene will kind of begin to drift off down to the south-southeast and eventually kind of make its way towards Cuba. The good news is, though, it's going to really kind of get shredded a little bit by wind shear here pretty soon, and that is definitely going to help to keep the ability of this to strengthen down. But moving this radar imagery ahead into tomorrow afternoon, I'll move this into about 1, 2, 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Overall, a pretty nice day for most of us. This will probably be about the peak intensity here of this tropical system in the Gulf is this time tomorrow afternoon, as it has really now till then to continue to organize a little bit, but after that is when things become a bit hostile for it. Now, also tomorrow afternoon, getting into our Friday, is whenever I would expect this backdoor cold front to finally begin working its way into the country. So, if you're up in the northeast tomorrow through New York State, up through Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island, those states, expect some afternoon showers and maybe even a couple rumbles of thunder tomorrow as this area of showers and storms sweeps on through. Outside of there, it looks like a really nice day east of the Mississippi for just about everyone else tomorrow. Also outside of the Florida Peninsula, where we could be dealing with some rain tomorrow as well. Now, as we get into our Saturday afternoon, again, expect some kind of scattered showers here into the northern mid-Atlantic as this backdoor cold front continues to sweep on through. Also, some scattered showers possible here kind of in southern Georgia, southern South Carolina, and the Florida Panhandle, as we're going to get a little bit of flow here off of the Atlantic that could help to spark some afternoon showers. But really outside of those places, I don't see a washout for anyone on Saturday afternoon. And in fact, it'll be a really nice Saturday compared to last Saturday, where we had some not so great weather for a lot of folks. So taking a look at your Friday forecast, high temperatures here, a big kind of dome of heat here in the middle of the country. Outside of there, a bit nicer here along the East Coast, but most of us here in the lower 48 east of the Rockies, we're going to be pushing 90 tomorrow. So, find where you live on this map, obviously, and, the higher elevation places here into the Appalachian chain will be cooler, but outside of there, a lot of us, even up into the northeast, could be pushing 90, so really getting into that June-like weather for a lot of folks. Now, looking at the rain to come over the next 120 hours, over the next 5 days or so, still some rain left here into southern Florida from that low pressure still working on through there, and also likely some rain mainly tomorrow up into the northeast as that cold front sweeps on through. But outside of there, it's mainly just a scattered, afternoon showers here and there kind of event for just about everyone else for the next 5 days or so. So taking a quick look here at Tropical Depression 2, and again, what will likely be Arlene, as the National Hurricane Center is forecasting here. Again, 1 p.m. Friday afternoon, expecting this to get up to tropical storm status. Not a very strong one, but definitely enough that could cause some travel issues for any kind of boats going through this part of the Gulf. So, Carnival Cruise, we're talking to you. Maybe don't set sail here tomorrow. Might not be the best idea if you have any plans to do that, but again, the good news is, as we get into this weekend, this will likely die off and become extratropical or post-tropical once it kind of gets towards Cuba, as it really gets kind of shredded apart a bit by wind shear. So that is the good news here. All right, moving this ahead again into this weekend, you'll notice a backdoor cold front kind of begins to sweep on through. But other than that, we stay relatively dry through this weekend. This is Saturday afternoon here. Moving this ahead into Sunday afternoon here, again, relatively dry before we do potentially have some leftover low pressure hanging around off the northeast coast. We'll watch that for our Sunday afternoon, and we'll go a little more in depth on that tomorrow. But other than that, again, it looks relatively dry until we get into about the middle part of next week. And that's when we're going to get another cold front to kind of sweep on through. And this eventually could stall out somewhere here into the southern tier of the country. And that's what I'm watching. If this were to stall out here, we could get rounds of some rain for some folks here into the southeast going into the middle part of next week. As you notice here, getting kind of those afternoon rain chances here going into next week. So we'll definitely be watching that. Again, looking at the dew points here, we get this one backdoor cold front this weekend. You see that kind of sweeps on through the northeast and the mid-Atlantic and really the Ohio River Valley a little bit as well before a more defined cold front sweeps on through and pushes southward going into next Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And again, we'll watch for that to stall out here near the Gulf potentially. And we could, be left with a bit of a warm sector here that could be dealing with some severe storms and some afternoon showers and thunderstorms if that cold front were to kind of stall out somewhere. So definitely going to watch that as well. I know this was probably a pretty short video, but again, luckily there's just not anything too crazy going on. I know we'll likely have Arlene tomorrow, but even that isn't really that much of a threat to anyone here into the continental U.S. So, if we do get any kind of really dangerous weather here east of the Mississippi that I see, I'll definitely, spend more time talking about it. But for right now, we're going to just kind of have to get through this somewhat boring summertime pattern. But with that said, I do hope you have a great start to your June and have a great rest of your night, and I will see you all tomorrow.